Yo guys, what's going on? Robert Warshack here, and we are finishing up the Protoss cards. We just covered Mage, we covered Druid, we got the hero down. Cards seem insane. We just got some Priest Protoss cards, so this is going to finish up that. And let's see how good these Priest cards are. Hopefully they're bad because I don't like Priests. So we have the 1 mana Hallucinogen. Summon a copy of a friendly Protoss minion. It takes double damage. Depending on how good these Protoss minions are, this seems crazy. It taking double damage doesn't matter. Think of this as a reverb for your own minion, and your original minion doesn't, get one shot, right? So 1 mana copy what could be like a 8 mana absolutely insane end of the turn effect minion could be good. This one's up in the air depending on what we see here, but this seems like really insane. Okay, first minion with the Mothership, 12 mana, of course it is. Taunt, Battle Cry, and Death Rattle. Get 2 random Protoss minions. So we're entering the Galakron Awakens era where we just start generating random, really powerful minions, eh? Again, it costs 12. Priest can only get to 10 mana right now. So theoretically, of course, there's no discount. And this card will never see play unless your opponent dirty rats it out on turn 2 because they're really smart, right? Battlecry get 2 minions and the Death Rattle get 2 minions. So this is a generate 4 minions from Protoss. And we know Protoss have good minions because we've seen them in Rogue and Druid. Very good minions, actually insane minions. So let's take a look at the next one. We have a 2 mana 2/2 lifesteal Death Rattle. Your Protoss minions cost 1 less this game. So theoretically, if you play this and it dies, they get the discount. Priest has a million ways to either copy a minion, which we've already seen with Hallucinogen. And it doesn't really matter if this takes more damage. You're just reducing the cost of the minions, and then the card is giving you a bunch of minions. So all the cards you get off of the minion, the Mothership we just covered, they're just gonna be discounted anyway. So Sentry, depending on how many we make, could be very, very powerful. The fact that it also has lifesteal is very good. It's kind of one of those minions that your opponent's gonna want to ignore because like if you're just going up for like discounts, Motherships, whole bunch of minions, flood the board, and then just keep resurrecting Mothership because every Mothership that dies, you're going to be able to get 2 more Protoss minions, and those Protoss minions are going to summon more Protoss minions, and they're going to be discounted. They're going to be pretty good, right? So we've seen it in like not Amalgam, but the Automation Priest. Again, the whole deck revolves around just making a bunch of automation. Sentry, you can do the Tourist, and you can bird watching, and then you can bird watching Sentry. So every Sentry you play has the extra attack. And then you can just make a bunch of copies of this with your other shit. Then you have the new card, the 1 mana card that we just covered. Just going to copy this. So Priest looking as obnoxious as possible, like normal. However, at least it's pulling from Protoss pools instead of your class pools. Because currently, Priest is only good when it steals your minions. So if they can just take other Protoss stuff, maybe that'll feel a little bit better to play against Priest. Because at the moment, playing a Titan or whatever, and then your opponent using Puppet Theater on it, I guess they can still use Puppet Theater. And then they're going to take your other stuff from other factions and then kill you with that too. Anyway, Priest is annoying. Taking a look at Hunter. So Protoss is done. Going back to the Zerg. Remember, Zerg is going to be the Demon Hunter, Warlock, Death Knight. We have the 2 mana 2/2. When you draw this, get a copy of it. Battle Cry. If you control another Zerg minion, gain 1+2. So it's a 2 mana 3/4. And then you get a copy of this when you draw it. So again, just a bunch of minions for 2 mana. You're getting 2 3/4s. Most of the time, you're going to control a Zerg. It doesn't really seem that crazy. No matter what, you're going to get 2 roaches in your hand when you draw 1. Obviously, it being a Zerg, it copies, it buffs. This is doing Zerg things. Roach is obviously a very good card. Hunter's got some good stuff going for it. We got a 2 mana. Give your minions +1 attack. Give your Zerg an extra 1+1. So like we mentioned in our first video, the announcement video, my guess was Zerg Hunter was going to be like, play it, it makes copies. When you draw it, it makes copies. And then obviously if you make copies, you need to buff it somehow, right? So now we have a 2 mana. Give your board +2/+2. That's really good. That's very good. That's very, very, very good. Yeah. That's very cheap and very good. Obviously, there's going to be a lot of Zergs. Even if you play like Roach, and then Evolution, I mean, we're talking about, what was it, a 3/4? So that turns into a 5/6. 2 mana, 2 mana, coin. Yeah, you have 2 5/6s on turn 3, right? Because it's On 2, on 3, you play, and then coin chamber. Yeah, so on turn 3, you have to deal with 2 5/6s. That seems pretty strong to me. Taking a look at some neutral Zerg cards here, we have a 3 mana 2/5. At the end of your turn, get a larva, and it transforms into a random Zerg minion. At the end of your turn, get a larva, and then it transforms. Let me see what this larva is. It's a 1 mana 1/1. Each turn this is in your hand, transform it into a random Zerg minion. Oh, so it doesn't go on the board immediately. So this does seem a little slow. Taking a look, 3 mana 2/5. Stat wise, not terrible. Not very aggressive, right? But it does give you this larva, and like if it sticks around, like the fact that the larva can turn into a pretty powerful Zerg seems decent. However, it just seems slow, and I do not believe it keeps the mana cost, right? So you still have to pay full mana for whatever the larva turns into. And the thing about what we've seen with Protoss is Protoss don't pay no mana. Protoss don't give a shit about no mana. Protoss have all of the pylons, and Zergs, we're going to see if they can kill those pylons. But at the moment, Protoss still be looking the best. But Larva and the Broad Queen do seem pretty cool. It is a pretty cool effect. And then taking a look at the Worm, we got a 3 mana, draw 2 Zerg cards. They cost 1 less. All right, Zerg got mana reduction. Zerg don't care about no mana either. So we've seen for each faction there is a 3 to 4 mana card that does draw 2 of that faction. So at least they're making that like pretty consistent, right? Like they're not giving something too much targeted draw. The fact that we're able to discount the cards off Zerg, I think is very powerful. Most of the other stuff is like summon 2/2s with taunt, right? And this is discounts. I think both discounts and so many things on the board. You could argue one way or the other. Both of them I think are good in different situations. I think Zerg Hunter could actually be a real deck, given the fact that like it has draw now and it has discounts. Also the fact that Evolution Chamber is freaking nuts. So with that, that is all of the cards that are going to be released today. I will be back tomorrow because there will be more cards to release. And if they're as nuts as the cards that we've seen in the past, it's going to be probably the most powerful mini set in regards to not only coolness, but what could be in strength. I mean, again, I've said it a million times, but Protoss seems strong as fuck. So with that, catch you in tomorrow's card reviews, guys. Always happy whatever the hell day it is.